Angel KABONU.
Mame Quine, let me take liberties of our friendship. Just the liberties of our friendship.
Good.
Because you don't say things when you are not with your friend.
Yeah.
That one, more program be now only obi mu year before the main discussion.
Yes, sir. Debbie, Obi next week. Because
that program does not care whose ox is God.
Yes.
And I can assure you
yes.
that I was somewhere and people were taking that aspect of your program
thank you
very seriously.
Thank
because you go in with fear, without fear of favor. And I know some people may be annoyed with you, but it is something that a lot of people cherish.
Thank you.
Number two, more in some trouble like Kenya. I had a visitor from Nairobi some time ago, and Oka said in Nairobi, the media was the third pressure group to the extent that regardless of whether Raila Odinga or Uhuru, Satam now Uhuru or power, regardless of whether Raila Odinga or Uhuru, the media was heating up on the politician to the extent that the people now begin to rally around the media. And the media did not take sides. Unfortunately, in our country, there are certain media houses that are still having difficulties in becoming neutral. Media you cannot do it because sometimes even your own bosses can come and fight you. Oh man, you've gone too deep. Why don't you massage the but you need to have that heart. What is happening in Kenya, I don't wish anything for Ghana, but let us all be cautious. And we say a time will come where when the people get frustrated, there could be reactions. We should be cautious, our judiciary, our legislature, and our executives.
So let's kickstart with this conversation. I think it's important because Bibiana, the freedom to operate.
Yes.
Where everybody believes that the systems are working. Where everybody believes that if I go to the judiciary, perfect. Media, perfect. Almost close to perfection.
That's right.
You didn't say in your perfection, baby, but close to, which is very, very okay.
Absolutely.
So what has happened?
You see, what has happened can be traced to our history. Once during the revolution, one of the people who suffered is the media. Media houses were almost non-existent, with the exception of the state media houses. Another area that suffered very much was the judiciary. 4 high court judges were murdered. There was a tribunal formed. The tribunal was not following rule of law and all that. So you have a situation where the people who found themselves in media space had to now struggle from non-existence to existence. So they automatically became opposition to the then military government. The same as the judiciary, so that they can also get their liberty to operate. So it created some alliance between the media and the judiciary for the opposition parties that were fighting the military regime. So there is a history to it. So if you see the first line of media houses that were formed when media freedom was granted were all aligned to the then opposition political party, because they really fought for Charles Rekru Bay media, Radio I and all that. But we've gone, it looks as if it took too long to extricate themselves from that political atmosphere to a situation where, right now I am in the middle. I don't care whose ox is God. I am speaking for Ghana and I'm speaking for people.
And I'm people say, Angel, you are wondering, I said, the virtues of patriotism, transparency, truthfulness,
it has something to
do. The love to serve your country, all those things. I said, and indiscipline up.
Yes, and in fact, the indiscipline there, it is terrible. All of us are guilty. All of us are guilty of it, to the extent that Obi to me threaten. There's someone can threaten you. Say ukra mean to Obama. Meanwhile, you are doing the right thing. Look, and if the AMA boss decides to clear hawkers off the streets, he himself, he may even be unpopular in his own political party because so the traders know you just drive from a Methodist bookshop all the way to former Whitechapel and see whether you can drive through. Meanwhile, it is a road built by the taxpayers' money.
And yes, they know.
They know, but they have been held hostage by the type of politics that we do. Are you getting me? And sometimes we even sympathize with the people who are doing the wrong thing. They have the rights. We sympathize with the people who are doing the wrong thing. So say whether you can negotiate with a policeman in England or New York when you are at fault. There is nothing like I beg. There is nothing like watch. And you know that the law works, so you will not do it. But in our case, it is different. Right now, I'm a school teacher. I can assure you, in most schools, teachers are not even able to discipline students. No, and it's getting bad. It's getting bad. Oh yes. If you like, try. Now you can't repeat a student for non-performance.
Oh, they be said the encouragement.
Oh yes. How are you going to do that? You can't repeat. So Uber Form 1, you are sure so Form 3. Me call Paul Jones, Form 1. A small 10 to 11-year-old boy inside those days. And I try your first semester exam, first term exams. I know the type of family I came from. I know the discipline of the school. You feel you are repeat to Form 1. Me bomb pie wo mad bra bombs.
God the shame that
and by the grace of God, I passed through Form 1. I want to Form 2. Me say, and say media grower.
Any brother be go Form 1.
Me say, Ube school na red line.
That's same.
Yes, same. Oh, you repeat too.
And them out charging more.
Only choice. And then many way to know how you born come you.
So the responsibility on even students above from kakra.
Above from because once force now say any hope
you are guaranteed.
Oh, you are guaranteed to pass through to failure. I was listening to your discussion about the hospital scene where, yes, it is true. I agree with you when you corrected the gentleman saying in Shishen and that but reaction in a case of emergency different. From a normal patient, I'm about hospital, so I'm having headache. But in emergency, you put aside
all those protocols
and save the life of the human being.
That's
but you see, the rule is that when you are in a state of emergency, you can walk into any hospital in the United States, but the law says you should get treatment. The rest of the issues, the state will deal with. Or they'll trace you. But in a state of emergency, there is a need for us to change the rules.
You see, Angel, I tell you about what say. Yani yashishe no be ADO. So be applies your man.
But the nurse should be able to defend herself. Oh, the man was in a state of emergency, and if I had not done that, the person would die. Because there's a thin line between life and death.
But going the extra, certain virtues, all manner of professions. All manner of professions.
Look at what happened at Winneba.
Yeah.
Say an elderly woman. Yeah. Look, they could have even given the woman a suppressant, and she would have fallen. The one they give to people who take to psychiatric hospital. But you carry an elderly lady and go and put in the bush for her to die, and indeed she died.
Okay, so that's the conversation.
You see,
so it's the conversation.
We are in a doldrums.
I'm saying the last week me buy and I'm saying sometimes you wake up and the things that you come to discuss.
All of us, we're in the look. I'm sure a lot of people have come to you say, "Oh, manya said me pacho."
Yes,
a lot of look.
Yes,
so a girl ran away from school against school rules. my office. Na ne mami, any girl number. Say ya pama me bano if you school. Ya suspending me bano if you school. And timboto my young corner, NAGRAT president, na ko pacho mami. And I'm say me NAGRAT president. Ubana ya the wrong thing. If I go and beg, am I not encouraging?
What be mama obi a? It the next time me ba na me so ba. But what can you say?
See so man no madam. Where dear?
What can you add in so
that she had to go through the.
But you know you are labeled.
Oh yes, I'm a corner hokra want to me and you or to radio so
kasa.
That is it. That's how you are labeled.
And if you are not careful now, where we find ourselves now, say unko have fighting system now.
Oh, you would the aggregate 30 something at Breme. Say Upper Wesley girls. And I said, look, it will even be an embarrassment.
NAGRAT president
for me to take this aggregate to the director general. Say, Jobama.
Like NAGRAT 15 crowd to 15 crowd.
So, person boy for. But you look at your
37
aggregate. Look at your aggregate. Am I not going to embarrass myself going to beg with this aggregate?
37.
So, my hey, trouble. That is our society. So we have a long way. And again, labeling. And then make labeling. When me teacher for Bubefu Kakran so make. We say you salary negotiations. Look, we didn't get the best because near penal, Yansanka, They say yes, they make call London. And I'm saying, do they have to take me to London before they bribe me? My village is enough to be bribed, but you see this labeling.
How have we arrived at that? Because me want to go for me from Kumasi Kofodia on this Prosag matter. How you go for you? And okay.
So say how you a union leader? You don't even know what to do. You're not comfortable.
And if you're not careful, they will push you to an extreme and you lose.
Then you go and you see. Look, it was not easy negotiating in these times with government. Look, Honorable Educhum, that time I had sympathy for him. No, so Friend Ministry of Finance. It was not easy. I will speak the truth here and I will not lie. The man did what he had to do under the circle. That day, me, I was there. My colleagues were there. He was calling Ministry of Finance. The minister will be responding. Abana will be responding. We finished that deep in the night. And we got the best that we could get in the circumstances. I'm not saying we got the best, though, but we got what we could get in the circumstances. Then the next morning, when we said, you see, those that wasn't understanding that kind of terminology. We said, what is happening?
Or they are share
the insults.
I don't know, because it's a problem. Is it because one? It's
like
what is happening?
Okay, am I hearing? I'll show you. What we have a man of bribe. I said no, can't radio soon. He has been compromised.
Yes.
Is that how easy? If I am you,
because
terribly.
Then I always say that public office holders and public people like us, maybe because sometimes there's an honest responsibility, self-restraint and self-discipline is key. Because normally we all tell people, KABONU no more coming myself.
What did people say? And I say, well, we have got into a system where we don't even trust ourselves.
I give you a typical example.
Yes.
Going into a party meeting.
Then
a party meeting.
So you one day
going to a party meeting.
One day. That are not Educhuma about fresh. And I said, I'm call meeting the Jubilee House. So he got to the Jubilee House. Ministers, they had to put down their phone. So he comes and says, KABONU, we don't trust each other. But you see, can you blame the security? No. Have people not been ushered into confidential meetings
and they've recorded?
Exactly. Are you at that level supposed to be recording confidential? So it's like only a big kasakra not recording.
Yeah, and I've said it, and people fancy that recording it.
Normal. It is not.
And I'm saying we are looking on. Abnormalities are becoming normal in this country.
Because when you record somebody against his or her consent, it's against the law. But that is what is going on. So I don't blame the security, Omahini. I don't blame the security. Somebody, when him said they will record you, go and doctor the whole thing, and then by the time you want to redeem your image,
you are gone.
You are gone. So that is a problem. You see, that's why you're having this message.
Anyway, but you want me to say? In fact, you are here for, I think, two basic reasons. The first reason is you're sure you will say free SHSBOB.
Absolutely.
And then again, we also know the JHS system, no? Free one at also for normally it is uncommon we are because we will say young contact me. What we want to do is that these things we feel the relevant stakeholders, no, and say in aiding common. Who may be a most bill and they see a cabinet here. Now by reality now absolutely. It means that all of you have an idea of what really is coming up. When we are done with that, we can look at students' performance and other matters arising in the country.
Absolutely.
So to start with, any idea about what's going into the bill? What are expectations?
Actually, Maminka, the fact said there is no bill yet. There is no bill in cabinet. There is no bill in parliament. The president, as far as I'm concerned, the president made a statement that the free senior high school, Ebeko parliament now, are passing into law. By so doing, Obin to member and some of us indicated that there is no need because there is a law backing free education in this country, at least pre-tertiary free education in this country already. Number two, the fact that government AD Emra Akko Parliament interested government be with a majority in Parliament cannot change or amend. So that was neither here nor there. I think that a good program is known by the people. So Ubana Usisa a good program and you pay politically for it. So that will be a guiding principle to guide every politician that you cannot come and change something that is good and is helping the people. Number two, minister on the daily graphic I publish here on Monday or Tuesday. Also add some other issues to do with the BEC, the and the fact that senior high school now will start from JSS 1 to SSS 3, which will say into your friends will be a secondary school. So we class 6 now. Utro so here, you work of secondary school, but then the BEC exam now. It is no longer like a terminal exam, but a bare placement exam where if you choose to go into Infansipem and you are, let's say, KJTR, because of that placement exam. But that is exactly what we are doing right now. BEC, I doubt whether anyone is looking for a certificate to go and work with a BEC certificate. The result slip is not a certificate. So that's what. But all said and done, we don't pass judgment on these contents. What we are saying is a reform be bar. We need to bring the concept of the reform out. The framework. Then you give it to all your stakeholders. In fact, what we do in this country historically, and I'll start from Sir Gordon Gorgisberg, Kwame Nkrumah education reform, the Jobo committee education reform, the last one of recent memory, President Kufuor, the Anamwa Mensa, where they formed a committee of experts. The head of state, President Kufuor, gave them his concepts. This is what we want done. We want a buy-in, we want contribution, we want ideas from every stakeholder in education. So what did Professor Simon Anamwa do with his team? They went throughout the country, region to region. They met regional house of chiefs, they met religious bodies, they did town hall meetings. Me, at that time, I was vice president of NAGRAT. as a union representative, I had attended a lot of the engagements. They even met parliamentarians. Not many. Honorable Balado Menu. You know, we were struggling. The 3 year, 4 years was a bone of contention between the unions and the government at that time. A report
on that,
and did a presentation to the president. The president with his cabinet what they presented, of course, and yet be president G2 white paper a year covering almost started implementation of the Anamwa Mensa report. By so doing, Oberman said there was a wide stakeholder consultation. I'm not seeing that now, and I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried because a program like yours, assuming you get that draft document, now it's okay, and then we dedicated this program to the contents of the report. The person make kind aspects are mamu. More kind so now mon friend yenji adwintre yenso ye contribution towards the government. And yet be able discuss what radio station Hana government but it's part of the consultation process. So education, you cannot deal with it as aspect by aspect by aspect. It is always better say we a comprehensive education reform, and it should be bought in by everybody. You cry a child here in schools. We cannot claim monopoly over how education should be run. We are teaching for people. We are teaching for the parent and the children. So as of course our parents don't say me wa dream be me person ye di che wo mana die. So uji tuma ye be yen. That is why schools like Wesley Girls, Holy Child, Infancy, that is why they are strong. Because until recently they had very strong PTAs. And the PTAs played a role in the education of the children. Sometimes they go to the school, almost say we don't have this. No morally people. And you're beyond a contributing, so majority will contribute. So of course our school no, they have more facilities than they had. And yes, the government was discriminating. They had parentage who understood the value of education and were ready to make contribution to education in those communities. I'll give an example to St. Mary's. St. Mary's Home Economics Department, changing syllabus, and current electoral commissioner Jane, or an old girl, or not only schoolmates, they came and changed the home economics department with new equipment.
Wow!
And the whole home economics department with new equipment and facilities. So all about was our school no more. I trust our exam. Only problem. Because some people have come to contribute. As against a school headmaster and headmistress say Koran Pacho Obiambuano, because they may not have that old student strength. They say St. Mary's and so on and so forth. So this is how it goes. Education does not belong to teachers. It doesn't belong to Ministry of Education. It belongs to the people of Ghana. And I can say, Samu Adrim Papa Bia, Mufa Adrim Papa Nuntuja, Yensin Kumia. Bring everybody, bring the professors in the universities, bring the teacher unions, bring the chiefs, bring the churches, because churches own a lot of schools in this country. Bring the Muslim community, so that region by region, Mumayan take ideas, na yemfanye education policy. Adibakun Swameka quickly, they say, free senior high school, and I'll reiterate, it's a very good concept, and it should be continued. Free senior high school. However, there are areas that are posing challenges that we all should sit down and see how we can find solution. And I'll give you one: buffer stock. You see, buffer stock now a central distribution agency. So send your money in our bus center. And send one, it's costly. Two, a school like Presec, they have different population from a school like Accra Academy. So the number of bags of rice that you send to Presec will be different from the number of bags that you send to Accra Academy. A lot of times they get it wrong. So you go to a school where the headmaster say, Mr. KABONU, who is a headmaster? Okay. And then manya 20 bags of rice. Meanwhile, I don't have Gary. So can I bring some bag of rice so that I get some, because then there was displacement of butter trading. It's a very, very common process. Number two, An area like Ejura, that area grows maize in this country very, very much. So you have Ejura Senior High. Why should Ejura Senior High wait for buffer stock to bring maize to it when they can get maize at a cheaper price within the community because it's a maize growing area? Why should a school in northern region wait for yams to be brought to it when they can get yam cheaper within their community? I get it. So an area like Bunsu, where we have a lot of oil palm plantation, why should an area like Bunsu wait for buffer store to bring them red oil while that area you can easily get red oil at a cheaper price? So all these things, we feel that we need to sit down and see how we can ameliorate them, change it for the better. We are not saying let's go there and fight to condemn anything. We are saying that involve stakeholders in whichever document that you are going to develop, so that at the end of the day, implementers will not be outside the program that you are bringing.
But we are at educations. They be at that observable space now. The way we keep touching our educational sector. I don't know what kind of breed they be about.
You see, they be a political. You see, education is now the new Florida. I'm telling you, education is now the new Florida for every political activity. That is why we said Free Senior High School Assembly say NDC wants to oppose the bill. You see the reaction of the NDC quickly because the education is now the new Florida. In fact, in 2020, research is proving say NDC could not convince people that they were not going to abolish Free Senior High School. That was one thing that affected the NDC. That is why now you see that the NDC is indicating quick response. One farm by will call you names. Where is the bill? There is no bill before us. We are not saying we
to cancel that.
To cancel that impression. And you see, everywhere Mahama goes, Mahama also indicates that he's not here to cancel Free Senior High School. The NPP also say, hey, if you vote for NDC, they'll cancel it.
So there's a deliberate
it's a deliberate game that they are playing. But the way, you see, education is like, how do you run a home? If you bring 10 professors here, they will all have different concepts of how education to be run. So every time Aban Bapa now Nkrophobia who holds sway to government policy, now we are as we are speaking, one idea is true. Say the law by any double track, any semester way running. The double track and the semester was not an original policy of government. They came as a consequence of the Free Senior High. Time now you started Free Senior High, the first year, that number is no control. Especially for the 60 top senior high schools in this country. So, because the facilities were also not there. So, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe called the union leaders. Initially, we were going to resist it. Also, we'll resist here. Then, we don't know where we are going to put the children. So, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then, he made a promise. Now, within 5 years, Get Fund will put up expanded facilities. So, Get Fund put up facilities, we will all go back to our normal system. So, and the introduction of the tracking, double track, and no cry amount for child boy. Say, yeah, I say, yeah, per se, you're running, and yeah, easy on crew, child for child boy, and yeah, easy. Then with the double track, you cannot run a trimester because I bet 2 cohorts of schools in one school. So we have to change from a trimester to a semester. But they gave us a lifespan of 5 years. Unfortunately, we are in the 7th year. And an 8th year. Almost in the 8th year. The double track, a lot of schools, I think over about 30% of schools still operating double track. And we are still operating the semester system. And there are some teachers who are not enjoying holidays at all. At all. You see, teachers be and God bless them. They cannot see, they don't see, students are not commodities. So ono ko chere nkrofo we mathematics. Na teach nkrofo we wo ho or say ma chere we ma chere we ntimi nkyerɛ mu. There are some teachers they cannot stand that. So one senior maths teacher maybe say oh abonu I don't need bread dada. I cannot teach here and leave these people, so I have to go and teach them. So he teaches them. He's doing it. He's not even getting a commensurate compensation, but he sees it as a blessing for what God has done for him. So there are teachers, they are not going on. After the administration, they don't go on holidays. The kitchen, and so on and so on. So, and now, yeah, can say, we don't want a law, Nicodemously, to come and make some of these consequent practices, pass it into law, and then when you say we won't do this, so look at the law. It is already in the law. You slept on your rights when the bill came, therefore there is nothing you can do. We don't want that. We want to know what is in the bill.
But what is it that is difficult? That
would have brought peace, harmony, and
what has been the status quo that when these things are going to be introduced, a bina na swafo na team. In fact, we then later maybe you know they are bet them what has been the status quo?
In fact, there are, for example, the pre-tertiary bill now called Parliament. Mm-hmm. In fact, we were part of the discussions. Never be why yes, but you know, so bill no couldn't time I'm passing the 6 at the time of Parliament, Ibabe rising, you know. And I'm passing at that time now election will be near. However, I will say quickly that we were part of the discussion of that. We want to be part of further discussions because at the end of the day, governments go, governments come. Mm-hmm. Look, if NPP wins the next election, there's no guarantee Educhum will be Minister of Education.
If the NPP is to win?
Yes, there's no guarantee. For you know, he may be Minister of Health or Minister of Roads and Highways. There is no guarantee that the Minister, Okoboy, will be Minister of Health. Okoboy may become Minister of Education or Minister of Sports. So we human beings, we are transient in whatever we do. But the institutions and policy and law, so when you are doing it, do it with that mentality. Say,
it's an institution.
It's the institution.
Your mind,
media. That is how.
So yeah, you must say
we sometimes we work assuming say no hoda. That's a mistake. Na nipa na nkasa kra yen fa say amount for sitting na hoda. Ubewu. Areho sem obi a was seen it down American house we wu and the man free abrochi by number ton if you not free family members say oh no when we come we'll sleep in the hood after I'll be spending 2 weeks and 3 weeks here. Oh what tongue if you need. So we are just transient. That is how we should see how life is. So you're patch away and yeah, industrial action as
but see anymore, oh, when you ever see a patch on it, when you ever see a patch on it, it may be rich, you know. Now, being that's like he said, yeah, the assembly Bashir call, they say, who assembly the woman, we are soon already said, why is the minister's office?
No, the minister's office is accessible.
Yeah, so what has been the problem? Because,
if
accessibility is not a challenge.
I think on this, the minister's office is accessible. The minister is a friend of mine, you know, I have unfettered access to him. Let me say that quickly. I have unfettered. When Napo was minister, I had unfettered access to Napo's office. I'm telling you that. People thought maybe we are off. No. I had unfettered access to Napo's office. I have unfettered access to Educhum's office. On this specific issue, we are saying if they are planning to send a bill, they should consult us. They got it wrong. But it doesn't mean that we are at loggerheads, and we also hope it doesn't get to the state that you are describing.
Yeah, because that's my fear. But,
no. But for now, and then we have not even threatened any industrial action. Mm-hmm. We are calling on government to engage stakeholders in the formulation of any education policy.
Yes, you better back to the policy, but you got to some of the challenges that I identify, for instance, buffer stock, how I centralize the distribution of food, challenge more.
Yeah,
you better back to these policies.
All right.
Yet to I obey. But point is, so criticism, how do we make sure these challenges along the line, the demonstrative faith is we are improving on the challenges? And as
unfortunately, nobody who say bedroom maybe crying calling for review a political issue. So you see, we have very strange politicians in Ghana. Very strange politicians, where something that should not be an issue becomes an issue. For example, as we speak, are we saying say you started free SHS? The double track now you start here and then I implement this here. We say start here, 2 cohorts of schools in one school compound. Track green and track yellow. But it's no more like that. We say the whole Form 1 about school. Now the whole Form 2 abefie. It's no longer Form 1 in track A, Form 2 in track A, Form 3 in track A, abefie. Now Form 1 in track B, Form 2 in track B, no, that is not. So now we are friend. Almost friend the tracking system. Yeah, friend.
Okay, so Jinaha, Honorable Clement Apak, Atrocrat Ebiaba. Who is telling the truth about the proposed free SHS bill? July 2nd, 2020. If the content of the July 1st, 2024 Daily Graphic front page story attributed to the Minister for Education titled Free SHS Bill Goes to Cabinet, seeks cancellation of BEC for SHS admission, SHS to be 6 years, is indeed true, then it raises serious questions with regards to the purpose of the yet to be seen free SHS bill as originally announced by the majority leader Alexander Afenyo-Marcus. Firstly, the revelation by Honorable Yadichum, the Minister for Education, that the proposed free SHS bill is yet to go to cabinet is in direct opposition to the announcement made by the majority leader on 11th and 27th of June 2024 respectively. The majority leader indicated to the media and on the floor of Parliament that the proposed bill had already received cabinet approval and was in transition to Parliament. To put it bluntly, if we are to believe the Minister for Education, then we must logically conclude that the majority leader deliberately misinformed Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Secondly, a close scrutiny of the report attributed to the Minister for Education by the Daily Graphic suggests that the purpose of the proposed bill is not to protect free SHS program in its current form and to ensure that successive governments continue to implement the policy in the current manner as suggested by the majority leader. While we wait for the proposed bill, it is obvious from the report by the Minister for Education that it is more of a bill seeking to review, restructure, and redefine aspects of our pre-tertiary education system rather than protect the free SHS in its current form. Removing BEC and combining JHS and SHS into a 6-year secondary school system is a major undertaking that should require a serious national stakeholders dialogue. Sadly, no consultations have been made or carried out, and there is no indication of input from key stakeholders in the educational space as far as we know. Given the apparent contradictions between what the majority leader and the Minister of Education have said with regards to the proposed bill, we must not and cannot discuss the proposed bill any further until we see it and study its contents. Our position as a party and a caucus remains the same. Any bill or legislation intended to address the free SHS policy implementation challenges and to make the program sustainable is welcome. Let us restate that John Dramani Mahama and the NDC believe that the free SHS policy is a good policy and do not hate it as some in the MPP falsely claim. How can we not like a policy we began implementing in 2015? Our concern has been and remains the implementation challenges, inadequate academic and residential infrastructure, inadequate furniture, inadequate and poor quality food, erratic academic calendar, obnoxious double track system, among others. And we will continue pointing out these implementation challenges with the hope that they will be fixed. Let those who continue peddling lies about our position on free SHS know that that Ghanaians know the truth, and Ghanaians will not fall for the stale and discredited lie that John Dramani Mahama and the NDC are opposed to free SHS. And it's signed Dr. Clement Apak, MP, Bolsa South, Deputy Ranking Member on Education Committee of Parliament. So, you see, maybe Assembly Free Association. What you now? You agree to the challenges there until these challenges are addressed. Yeah, well, they cannot do a straight. He said, Makwine and my entire free SHS. He sees this as a major reform that is coming.
Absolutely. A major reformer. We are going to shoot ourselves in the foot. We would have wasted everybody's time. But one thing I hear clear of my hearing say there is no bill as we speak.
But
see, politicians you have to look at Steve say Bibi or hot and Obi say me pay and Obi say me pay. The thing, there is no document. You see, there cannot be any coherent, comprehensive document without organizing and forming a committee of experts.
It cannot be possible that that document will exist. Maybe a committee has been set aside a long time ago, and you have no idea of that committee.
Then that would be starting with a pointed tie. Why wouldn't I am the president of NAGRAT, a leader of a teacher union, recognized by law, who negotiates for the conditions of service of my members, and there is a committee formed for education reforms.
You are not aware.
And I'm not aware. My brother Musa, who is the general secretary of NAT, is not aware. My brother Ali, who is the president of CCT, is not aware. What type of committee is that? We are not saying we want to serve on the committee, but we don't even know when it was formed, who and who are on the committee. That would be very strange. However, we need committee of experts, people who know and understand education, who can solicit views and convert those views into time-tested issues. So when it is presented to cabinet will see that this is a weighty document that is coming in to help transform and enhance education in this country. Then we are joking with ourselves.
So how do we separate partisan elements from national discussion?
And this one I'm saying it lightly. A partisan politics. Are we doing well in what we are doing here? Are we doing well? I don't think we are doing well. I don't think we understand what as we speak, by law, there is no government in England, in the UK, in Britain.
But is stable.
But everything is stable. The local government is working.
But
you will not even know.
Smooth transition.
Absolutely. Can you imagine? Say there was our system, no, where there will be no government in Ghana. So at the end of Bibina, we had a different conception about partisan politics.
But the partisanship is entering every facet.
Even homes. Churches. Look, me a small boy. One of the most popular hymns in the Catholic churches, stand up for Jesus. I know that as a Catholic, I know that father the entrance. I know that father the entrance. Since we went into partisan politics, me think say I to sign you know my sorry that. Hey, because fathers wrote. So this is what partisan politics does unto us.
Hey, from victory to victory.
Sanda no collect your coffee. It has entered every aspect of our, even church, even the church. It was we don't even understand it. Somebody comes up and insult everybody and say, "I'm doing politics."
In the name of politics.
Some are politics now. Oh, and just say politics in the area.
Yeah.
So I say I'm a politics in the area.
Oh, then you've been observing the space.
Oh yes.
Politics in the area.
So he wants to be exonerated.
So that's the understanding of the kind of politics
he will do on the politics in the area. Until I make answer and just say politics in the area. Can you imagine?
Yeah, election time, they frame people up, they blackmailed, they character assassinate, everything. Oh, so the
politics in the area.
So that's the slogan now.
We branded him like this because at that time it was
politics. It was politics. Yes.
That's all.
He's a nice gentleman, but
so we touch and go. So it looks as if the partisanship, wow, that may be the crust of the matter. Wow. So for me, Ochami, say at this stage, dear, we are calling for the right thing to be done in the interest of Mother Ghana.
Open up and let us know what is in it.
Open up and let us know what is in it.
If there's anything even coming there.
That's right. If there's anything even coming, open up and let us know.
The earlier the better.
The earlier the better. So we can also make input and contribution. So that we start ab initio contributing to control corrections so that we don't get to the tail end. That is all that we're talking about.
Why is it our governments of late Casa Moya Tias here, though it has been part of the political process, has always been before we come to the table?
Because unfortunately, we don't preempt issues to take solutions before. Remember, somebody may be sleeping on the job. Then before people start running helter skelter, some discussion on matters. Wow, and it sometimes it's so worrying and disappointing. It's so worrying and disappointing on a lot of issues. A lot of issues. Am I hearing part two? A time will have to come in this country. We don't have a choice than to tell people the truth. If electricity bill are each year, and yet a true reflection of what we have to pay, someone will have to be bold to tell the people the truth. If water bill now 8 year, and yet the reality will be, someone will have to tell the people the truth. Until that time, look at where we brought ourselves and the debt. Sometimes debt now until there is an international or global debt forgiveness,
we cannot come out.
We may not be able to come out. And is it not sad? So we who are Kokranfroni Emrewa.
Yeah,
we could have avoided all these things.
All these things. Very much avoidable.
We could have avoided all these things. To see a GDA emu to even invest in our own country. It's true about the nipple. And so
some of these national and I thank God that people like you are still in existence and talking. Some of these conversations that you're having. You are stepping on toes, but of course that is what will make the national.
I know when I leave your studio today, I will not be spared.
So, but if these kind of frank conversations anywhere, movement for this country will be difficult.
20 years ago, now investment was not part of our conversation in this country, but Nyamin Chadie, due to changing the system. Now, for the investment, I say. In fact, a pension discussion, it was not part of workers' discussion.
And a major.
So, among for say, okay, 7% me dachia, asset
yeah,
and cash being found to inche. So, in San Nom and Fatano, among for okay, my means sacrificing, now being two baby. So, we started building into that culture. And if that culture had grown, we would have had an investment culture in this country. In fact, Mima ran a seminar for senior high school students on the culture of savings. How to have the culture of saving. If the child does build a culture of saving, it will grow into a culture of investment. That's right. That's it. But unfortunately, Ceciano, we might have been killing all those initiatives. And this is a conversation we should have. Now, Asembia, former Chief Justice Sophia Kufu, and that statement touched me. Or say, Muka said, me call me cry, say, na I'm for friend me auntie. Ma who offending na omo friend me auntie Debbie. Na bibi a mensuma fa to me bag ma. Omo be benefiting. Enti na omo friend me auntie. So some are saving bibi a me ma be give Debbie. So that is our society.
But it's pathetic.
It's painful. Look, one other man or no can say the pension issue. Let me also say, I also blame myself that as part of a union and a union leader, we did not move to solidarize with the old pensioners. It's an indictment on labor, and I take part of the blame. Yes, I take part of the blame.
Soon we are there.
We are there.
So nobody will come to aid
you. Because these people were formerly our seniors.
Yes.
They were working.
Yes.
Now they are in trouble.
Yes.
We did not move to solidarize with them.
Yes, soon we are there.
So we take the blame, and I'm part of that blame, that we abandon them, and it's not the best.
Wow. Well, if you've just joined that, NCBA, any Angel KABONU, NAGRAT paying. And then we say a lot of Facebook comments, a lot of people are also sending messages and making, and I'm happy that those in academia and outside it are all contributing to this conversation via text message. You're making my own house, say, and there are more properties for East Legon, Trasaco area, Airport Hills, Ebri, Ajirigano, Oyarifa, Medina, Abuba, and Nafi, Medina Estate. Se ope a director and a person wa Japadi Midimawa, my own house, and a Kyle say fresh number way 0508 938 412 and 050 8938 no even know the dinky town. My own house, I say, own your dream house today. Not Bibia and Timinko Kama and Farmer and a telecell. MTN, Holland Life Assurance in Tiabekoswa Domase. If says, sir, and you may come anyway, and a Holland Life Assurance and no more Juma. One say, my access to your mobile money wallet through an insurance is a friend me Bambo Life. Now, fee or contribution is all the 2 cities, so the 10 cities, so the 25 cities, so 50 cities, so Busumi be a residence or mom access no. Our dial star 296 hash no. On number Sikabia on number conscious or Bajatuno or Mattia mobile money wallet. So now, fee in times of emergency, whether a year or a quenchebia or come on, claims in there, or up to the tune of 30,000 Ghana cedi. No what you mean on Sakama or their tour there so there so nipa be bit maybe dear cage them one ma obetimi so nipa be aye nipa se oni ho obetimi to asa adwumadi so say wa wo say ye onananum won se onum onua mema onua ma oyira na okunu na so omo bia no obetimi de omagina onum but me ka say opashumdue in the form of insurance there me Bambo is the best. Me Bambo insurance Holland Life Assurance through MTN and a telecell on their back. Star 269 hash. Star 269 hash. Na weti mini wane dinkita ho. Afi kope dan kraka makama o ekwapim okropon. Bra Kingdom Home Estate for Kyle say one CC baby sonkwa cameras ye adwuma ho CCTV cameras ye adwuma ho na afi akwan so papa insurance no problem security service for so 247 afi so kan dundum bia eni ho wo hwe mmea so atwa saa bia ho da hia ye baby say Bree Botanical Gardens Boti Falls Safari Valley Resort na afi Tete Kwashi Hospital baby a ekwapim okropon Kingdom Home Estate at Dan Crano, Samia, we now so really, as you relax, you're also having fun in the midst of these great venues. For Kingdom 4 0559 761 144. One more Canada, ni US, ni UK, ni so WhatsApp line so metim de on akasa 05556126111 afi adwumaro na akasa so be constrahwe e wo US of A Canada and afi UK berebi obedo no so no ibi masutire na motim no akodi eye enkita ho Nexus Global Services ana esese hu ya se mekao ene yade de obi ni me chena asem enti omo so wona nyantete na omo ya ben for pass o yade na opeso omo do ko hospital bia o wiasa frana nyina in fact the first 100 top hospitals are baby bia na doctor for baby ano dodo anu bo say a doctor for a ben pa no dodo na won so mo sheteki o mo di juma so kokora wo ma high quality care ona bo no so ye papa into Nexus Global Services Limited say a country or de ko sa ho yare o pay the 100 top hospitals and doctors what take care on be boa amasa attention what me enya on be boa so say e bia na ope visa ope air ambulance service ope eye baby okwa odu tribeto and sabia ni nyina no one be sa hye ni nyina ede amount nti one Nexus Global Services Limited enkasa on 0539 659 259 na fi wa hye wa kontu asise ode ema wankasa ho eye apomuden mamenka obiom se enne eye Era Alote Jacobs ne 70th birthday inti happy birthday enkoma Alote Jacobs baby awobia. Some of the messages of the basic essence of free education is to put both the poor and the rich child to school whether their parent can pay or not. So tell Dr. Park that if indeed NDC is not against the free education, then how come they describe the policy as 419 policy? And many Angel Becker say, oh, so with I am say the Dr. Park and the NDC as a party should show us any Ghanaian that went to the so-called progressive free education under John Mahama without paying a fee. The misleading is one too many. The misleading is one too many from the NDC. Yao Marvin. Okay. Angel, help us on this issue about the progressiveness of our free SHS. No, the NDC claims that it started. It's not even a claim. They always say that they started theirs progressively. Yeah. You have been in the game. Yeah. At what point now more shared Jimmy Debias and termed it as progressive?
Yeah. I think what the NDC meant was that also a bedroom maybe now day students were exempt from paying school fees, but boarding students you pay your feeding fees. So what was running at that time is PTA fees were being paid, but school fees, fees for examination, and it was taken away for both day students and boarding students. But we are border feeding. We were to feeding.
So there was an attempt, or they started?
Yes, they started.
Okay, so they approached the free SHS. It's not what we are seeing.
No. This one is the total removal of the payment of anything. Untiare.
Now, India is in Tiare. Now, any confrontation school. I don't get this. All the time we have confrontations with more when we go to the schools all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, be a from let me call in KABONU one on the you know, be a from let me call and a lot of your colleagues, they've suffered for certain decisions that maybe they've taken in the interest of prevailing conditions.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's why I'm coming
to.
Well, say uko school be our mountains no me person me body na headmaster nin crofo konya asem. Headmaster na say aban say e mayen gi bibia. Na so awofo mo amohwe. There mo feel say mo be ye no e wo mo nsem. E na PTA chairman no. Ene ne PA say enye PTA bio. PA chairman ne
Parents
Association. Omo bar together. And a more year contribution into the account of the chairman. Or no mobilize this one now, so okay, donation from concerned parents. Somebody survey problem with, but that one is not compulsory. Upa na utia, upa untia. Now, Oko girls' school, who say girls, infection is more common than we boys. Oko girls' school now call bathhouse, anyway, washrooms now, very, very dirty anyway now. I work for Ankasa to be mobilized or who say, or more come. Sometimes Makasa, yeah, by force. Then so wouldn't so about school. Now we nipa so one farm by near your pabo. You know, there's a subtle way. So Aquana or the pressure. Eba tools said that we will be a chia woman. That I hear him go that sort of thing. But a bisu ebu embraso. Some people also violate. And advise our media mommy members and they say, government says don't charge anything.
So don't.
Even in the interest of the school, don't. It's as simple as that.
Don't. Because government says don't.
Nyamansu a cost what a sumasi. And then they mean to make
I know my cost sumasi.
And Nyama cost was sumasi.
Angel. Oh wow.
You see, that is what sometimes these things bring. When I say we private classes.
A cost.
Charlie. Upa. So one for so self our Barbara. Upa man for bank on Larry.
Friends and Fruity. Yeah, for so self our private classes.
That's a bit.
Now the upper.
It's as simple as that.
Tell me for so.
There's Baba.
Oh, Angel. Okay, so we're making guys have a test, but you wrap up soon. Nana Ponsa Bediakom. Dr. Clement Apak should not try to deceive the masses. Former President Mama openly told Ghanaians if he had 2 billion, he wouldn't invest it in free SHS. On another platform, he told us many countries had implemented the free SHS and it didn't go well. So we should not implement the policy because it's a policy coming from a desperate politician. So what else do we need as evidence to prove Mahama don't believe in the free SHS policy? And this also says, as we speak, why should even the number be the problem when in fact we have generational cases still sitting in our courts? The same people who are complaining of delays in court systems don't have more people to work on the court cases. So that's what I was doing about. Staskiwo, US of A, yes sir, Patriot is saying, Senior, you keep asking Angel to explain the NDC policies relating to education. Please, is he there to relate to? No, he's there because a teacher near for all the system. No, in the ampase, say only Jumedi Sabaya, or he is in a better position, not partisan position, in a better position to at least tell us what EKOSIISEN inti Mr. Ominya.
Or
interestingly, the discussion this morning seems to raise issues with government's educational policies, but tries to find reasons and explanations for what the NDC intends to do. Okay, so I don't know how you are understanding our conversation, but of course, you're back now. Yeah. This one says that today I have enjoyed the conversation between you and Angel KABONU very well. Angel KABONU has done justice to the issues at stake with or without fears. And so that's Ken Rashid and also Nadia Odiaba. Kingsley Atefwa or draw your attention. Good afternoon, brah. Please let Angel KABONU know that you are Omahinu, not Ochiami.
Am I still saying here Radin and Kupo? Am I still saying Ochiami? Why?
Okay, so Angel will wrap up. But the question is there still room for improvement when it comes to the educational sector?
Oh yes. Every day things change. 10-20 years ago, we will not be talking about ICT as a vital part of teaching and learning. But and the way things are going, in the next 5 to 10 years, we teach and you don't have the knowledge of ICT, you will become ancient.
We teach
The children are very versatile in ICT. It's part of their system. It's just like how our children make me have our phone. Nyama our phone so ka oba obey features out. That's right. This is how technology is gradually. Hey, AI. Look, those days, me na me call notes in yes, you emphasize geography. Now also sand dunes, desert landforms. Now abana akwanti ho on team poda. You are like a god. Today, and I want to say me Baba can review is going to be controversial. Our hold on to the law or policy that children should not bring phones to school, we are deceiving ourselves.
They know what time is it?
Oh, they have the phones in the school.
Wow.
Oh, they have it. About 99% of children in senior high school have mobile phones.
99?
Oh, yes. And I'll give you an example of something that happened. Curriculum 4 and curriculum and assessment. Omoko school be in the Eastern region. I've just forgotten the name. And Omode models to blackboard in a class. So, but you will need your mobile phones to be able to do this work. And Kodani so we don't have mobile phones. And our teacher, man now of the curriculum, no catch from said, look, please trust me, nobody will be punished. But you need to do this work for us to one of your
we actually
mobile phone PA and nobody here work. And it happened just a few months ago.
17 after 4. One of the people on managing unions, running mate is here. Working with him, how was it like?
Oh, like I told you from the beginning, I had an unfettered access to the office of the minister. Yes, and we worked with him very well. There was high cooperation, and it was positive. If you recall, like a union definitely will go on strike and whatever, but we had a very good working relationship with him, and his office was open to us. Like I said, I had unfettered access to his office.
But I'm saying results for only what pushing for in terms of your teaching colleagues. Was it okay?
Sir, it was his time that we negotiated the CPD allowance. It was his time, and I did CPD allowance by it was Omaini. I'm not a member of the New Patriotic Party. No, I'm a member, but I can assure you, we had a very good working relationship with Matthew Poku Prempe.
All right.
Yes.
I mean that's
okay.
Yes. That's all.
That's all. Yes.
So you're such an angel.
Thank
you very much.
Always for giving me this platform to explain some of these things to our members. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Angel. So that's NAGRAT President Angel KABONU. You're not train come over and say kama. Me say also ocean briefing 20 minutes after 4. No problem.